and the newest medical laboratory scientists of Nigeria today, I say congratulations. I wish you all the best of luck. Please always remember to be good ambassadors of the Medical Laboratory Science Department and the great university and the great Ibadan University. The topic for this induction ceremony was carefully selected and the guest speaker appropriate because of the need to avoid anything that can compromise the quality. Because people complain about wrong results. Now that we are going to the field, though you have been told, we need to refresh your memory again. Some of those things that can make you to produce wrong results. The result you produce during collection, during the analytical stage is very minor compared to the one you produce that leads to the error at the point of collecting sample or transportation. The lecturer will do a lot of justice to that. And I urge you to read it attentively and you'll be really blessed. To our esteemed parents and guardians, we sincerely appreciate your sacrifices. Your labor has not been in vain. You are well rewarded today, and I rejoice with you on this occasion. You have made huge sacrifices to see them through this very important training. May the good Lord preserve your life to reap the fruit of your labor. Amen. Thank you all for coming to grace our 13th induction and oath-taking ceremony. And let me also use the opportunity to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2023. Thank you and God bless you.
While the head of department was giving his address, the Dean of the School of Clinical Medicine stepped into the auditorium. It's my pleasure to recognize Professor Dominic Osagai. Please give him a round of applause. Thank you. Quickly, we'll go to the next item, which will be the special remark by the Dean, School of Basic Medical Sciences, Professor Sunday Josiah. Please put your hands together for him.
The Vice Chancellor and Chairman of this occasion, Professor Lawrence Ikechukwu Ezimoye, ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Ralph Adege, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. On behalf of the staff and students of the School of Basic Medical Sciences, I welcome the parents, guardians, well-wishers, and heartily congratulate the graduates of the Department of Medical Laboratory Science, Ibadan University of Kada, who are today being inducted. Your journey, which began about 4 to 5 years ago, has finally been caused to fruition, and your success has become the point of signature. This is the 13th occasion of induction and oath-taking of graduate medical laboratory scientists. The parents and guardians here present today, I especially congratulate and commend your decision to send your children to Ibadan University. Here we have broken a number of ground ranging from the general to specifics. Recently, Nigeria got a momentary relief in the nomenclature of suspension from the almost one academic calendar old strike action by the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, ASU, while the federal government and the union relentlessly struggle to prove and justify their position, students and by extension their parents suffer the setback. The irrecoverable year with a frontline approach and dedication to seasoned training of young minds, we keep ASU strike at complete bay with graduating dates in vivid view following matriculation. in their future endeavors. Round the clock, electricity provision, safe and competitive academic environment, and many more are the specific for which we are known. May you live long to enjoy the fruits of your labors. When students marry during matriculation following their admission into any degree in higher institutions of learning, they unleash their joy, but only few of them are witting of the corresponding Herculean academic tax accompanying the jamboree. Only successful candidates like today's inductees demonstrate that they are not only aware, but are also ready for the work ahead of them from the outset. It is in this vein that I congratulate you, the inductees, for the success you have made today. You have not only proven yourselves to be worthy in character and in learning, but also done your parents proud. As you have been inducted today, I enjoy you as seasoned medical laboratory sciences to commit your expertise in whatever capacity and measure to solving problems in the society in order to make it a suitable place for us all to thrive. Even though we live within the globe, Nigeria is the country we claim. The onus lies within us to do our best to keep it in the safest mode as much as possible. The role of medical laboratory scientists is germane to achieving this. The establishment of Medical and Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria, handsomely empowered following the anchoring of the Nigerian populace for the rejuvenation of health sector, especially in the area of laboratory practice, where quackery is almost completely the order of the day. You will agree with me that accurate laboratory analysis of samples, the boom of medical laboratory provision, is the ultimate sine qua non for the solutions to health challenges. It is in this view that I charge you, nascent medical laboratory scientists of today, to rise to the exponentially increasing challenges ahead. Once again, I congratulate you.
Next, I'd like to invite the provost of our Jacob Unwegwe, who is here ably represented by Professor Dominic Osaga. Can we put your hands together for him?
The chairman of this occasion, our Vice Chancellor, Igbinedion University, represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Adere, Principal or the top management officers of Igbinedion University, the guest lecturer, Professor Emokpai, the Medical Laboratory Sciences Council of Nigeria, Dr. Tosan Irabo, deans here present, particularly the Dean of the School of Basic Medical Sciences, other invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I send greetings who is not felicitations. The College of Health Sciences is one of the flagship colleges of this university. And under the College of Health Sciences, we have 3 schools: School of Basic Medical Sciences, School of Basic Clinical Sciences, and School of Clinical Medicine. Is in the School of Basic Medical Sciences. And that is why the college is happy and feel highly fulfilled that the college is fulfilling one of the mandates of its establishment, and that is to produce high quality manpower for the country. And oath taking, induction and oath taking is considered mandates. And that is why the college puts all its weight behind the department to ensure that this ceremony comes to fruition. And moreover, the college places high premium on induction and oath taking. When you get inducted, you are being admitted, I would say solemnly, into a profession. You are not just being invited into you are going to swear to an oath of allegiance, as it were. So today's ceremony underlines the importance of the professions in the health sector. Laboratory sciences is one of the foremost professions in the health sector. In addition to medicine, nursing, pharmacy, all these institutions, all these professions undertake their oath taking. It further emphasizes and buttresses the fact that the government and people of Nigeria are very serious with standards and ethics maintenance. And that is why we particularly today thank and congratulate the registrars to Chief Executive of the Medical Laboratory Sciences Council of Nigeria. We have been watching repeatedly over the years how this council has ensured standards in the different schools that train medical laboratory sciences graduates. And that is why today, to underline that importance, the registrar himself is present here to ensure that to superintend this induction and oath taking. My dear graduates, you are 70 here today. I know there are going to be lecture and further proceedings, but as a college, we want to congratulate you for achieving this. Attention to the ideals that are being inculcated in you by the department and the university as a whole. As you go forth today, you carry the badge of this institution, and you cannot betray it. You cannot act anywhere less. Laboratory science underscores health. We cannot make a proper diagnosis of an illness without laboratory diagnosis. You see, patients place high premium on you as medical laboratory scientists. Therefore, as you go forth today, be sure that the council is going to watch you. The people of Nigeria, they are going to watch you. When you fall foul, I'm sure the registrar will tell you what awaits you. I congratulate you again, your parents, your sponsors, your guardians. I thank you so much for partnering with Igbenedion University to ensure that you complete your training here. Thank you, and God bless you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure at this point to invite, with a rising ovation, requesting that we all stand. So I invite the Vice Chancellor to give his address. Thank you.
Please be seated. Principal officers of this great university, our inductees of today, the reason why we are here, we have premium on you. You are leaving this university today as our ambassador, and we don't expect anything less from you. The members of the council, regulatory body of this medical laboratory, I thank you for your presence. Parents who have toiled day and night to ensure the success of their words, you have done extremely well. You are all welcome. It is with great gratitude to God that I bring you glad tidings from the Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Gabriel Osawa Igbinedion, Esama of Benin Kingdom, the Governing Council and Senate on this auspicious occasion of the 13th oath-taking induction ceremony of the newly qualified medical laboratory science graduates of Igbinedion University. Let me further welcome the dignitaries present here this afternoon. In particular, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of, well, Dr. Tosan is ably represented by his representative anyway. The registrar, CEO, medical laboratory scientists, and Professor Matthias Abiodun for honoring us with your esteemed presence. I also want to welcome our dear parents, friends, and well-wishers who are here to witness this historic occasion. Your presence is a confirmation that your labor of love for your word over the last 5 years has not been in vain. At this induction, a total of 70 medical laboratory science graduates are to be inducted. The critical role of medical laboratory science in the health carried out on patient specimens in clinical laboratories. It is therefore pivotal to patients safely healthcare system. Its operations require broad knowledge in biology, chemistry, and microbiology, with the training for its professional demands, institutional support, continuously as it relates to human resources, infrastructure, and technological investment for which this university has pursued with vigor for some time now since inception. It is significant that Igbinedion University for over 2 decades has maintained a path of dominance and prominence in the academic sphere, leading a visionary path to endless excellence. The university presently has all its courses accredited by the National University Commission and the relevant professional bodies, including the Medical Laboratory Council. In particular, the Department of Medical Laboratory Science was recently reaccredited by NUC for another 5 years. I thought you would clap for that because it's important. We take that into consideration. Thus, evidencing the university's unrelenting dedication to ensure that our graduates are properly trained and equipped to compete with their counterparts in the employment space, nationally and internationally. At this point, I wish to heartily congratulate the graduates for your resilience and hard work, which have culminated in your induction today. It is my hope that you will lift up the banner of IUO and be good ambassador of your alma mater wherever you find yourselves, and your predecessors, as your predecessors have done. I equally congratulate the College of Health Sciences, School of Basic Medical Sciences, and Department of Medical Laboratory. Get another batch of competent medical laboratory scientists who are eager to change their world. And God bless you. Thank you.
Another round of applause for the Vice Chancellor. Thank you. Now it's time for the induction lecture before we go into the induction proper. And on this note, I'd like to request our distinguished guest lecturer to please stand up for his citation. Professor Matthias Abiodun Emokpai is a professor of clinical chemistry at the Department of Medical Laboratory Sciences, School of Basic Medical Sciences, College of Medical Sciences, University of Benin, Benin City. He teaches clinical chemistry, that's chemical pathology, research methods, and medical laboratory science ethics at the Department of Medical Laboratory Science at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels. Professor Emokpai had worked as medical laboratory scientist at the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, Kano, where he rose to the position of Chief Medical Laboratory Scientist before he transferred his service to University of Benin. His research areas focus mainly on clinical biochemistry, with particular emphasis on reproductive health studies, sickle cell nephropathy, and human nutrition. His over 150 publications in foreign, national, and local journals, and 3 book chapters stress, burden, cause of infertility, and the urgent need to improve diagnosis and treatment of these public health issues. His publications also contain data on sickle cell nephropathy, atherosclerotic markers, HIV, AIDS, and the need for adequate nutrition in the management of sickle cell disease patients. Professor, among which are Outstanding Leadership Award by Edo State Indigenes in Kano State, and nominee by Royal International Biotechnology, Iran. Please give him a round of applause. He has presented several scientific papers in conferences and workshops. Administrative experiences, he has served as school basic medical sciences postgraduate representative, head of department medical laboratory science, member local organizing committee, Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria, Edo Chapter Conference, postgraduate studies coordinator, Department of Medical Laboratory Science, school oath-taking ceremony committee, certificate screening committee representative, Faculty of Life Sciences, examination officer, Department of Medical Laboratory Sciences. He also served as member committee for the administration of cost evaluation forms coordination and renal transplantation committee, AKTH, as Kano, member continuous medical education committee, AKTH Kano, member drug reagent revolving fund committee, AKTH Kano, member research grants committee, AKTH Kano, desk officer, service improvement, Servicom, AKTH Kano, chairman local organizing committee, AMLSN, Kano conference and member, friend of Hospital Association, AKTH Kano, is a member Association of Medical Laboratory Science of Nigeria, Nigeria Society of Clinical Chemists, and fellow chartered public manager. I think I should stop there. Can you please give a round of applause for this wonderful academic legend as I invite him to the microphone to deliver his induction lecture. Thank you. God bless you.
I have this slide. Effective, productive, and diligent Vice Chancellor, ably represented by Professor Adere. Our digital registrar CEO, Medical Laboratory Science Council. The principal officers of the university here present. Colleagues, loving and caring parents here present. Gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I control with this or that. This, okay. Thank you. Well, may I graduate today? I want to thank you and thank your parents for doing you good and sending you to this university. I want to say our profession is a learning profession. You have graduated. Okay. I said as profession is a learning profession. You have graduated, that is not the end of it all. We keep on learning every day as medical laboratory scientists. The theme of our lecture today is pre-analytical errors, bane of inaccurate medical laboratory results. Maybe one of us or some of us here may have experienced or heard people say results are not correct, results are not correct. There are reasons why results are not correct. One of the greatest scientists said, without laboratories, men of science and soldiers, they are soldiers without arms. This was said by Louis Pasteur. You also agree with me, I'll take a quote. In modern warfare, the more precise the strike, the more likely and the right target will be hit. Accuracy avoids waste, improves efficiency, and reduces risk. At the end of this lecture, we'll be able to know the following. One, two, we appreciate the magnitude of pre-analytical errors in relation to the total error. And we also identify steps in a pre-analytical process and the associated errors. We will know how to avoid these errors. And lastly, the markers of this error, how we can reject them. By way of definition, pre-analytical errors refers to all before the specimen are tested in the laboratory. Three phases of laboratory testing: pre-analytical, analytical itself, and post-analytical. Pre-analytical involves specimen collection, transport, processing before the analysis. Analytical, that is the test proper. Post-analytical is result transmission, interpretation, follow-up, and retesting. Why paying attention to pre-analytical errors? Errors at this stage can dramatically affect laboratory results. To control pre-analytical variables, we have to ensure accurate test results in clinical laboratory. These are the steps involved in pre-analytical error. If you have error made in the period prior to analysis, it will influence the quality of final results and it compromise the diagnosis and treatment of patients. We also know no result is better than bad result. It's better you don't have it. An accurate result is the best of it all. Same processes, the steps: preparation, sampling, handling, transportation, storage, preparation prior to analysis of specimen. You see, pre-analytical error is a weak link in patient-focused cycle. The more steps involved in this process, the more likely there will be errors. As we go on, you see the statistics. A lot of people have worked on trying to know the magnitude of the different errors, stages of errors. Some said pre-analytical error is about 93%. Some said it's 32 to 75. But the magnitude of analytical error study carried out long time ago. One group said 46%, the other group said 68% pre-analytical error. Why analytical error is 7% to 13%, and post is 47 to 9. And if you put this together, you will discover that the pre-analytical and post-analytical is up to 90%. Are not inevitable, but could be prevented with diligent application of quality control, effective collection system. Steps in pre-analytical errors: patient identification, sampling technique, collection procedures, specimen transport. All these I have enumerated. You may not be there. And specimen processing is what takes place in the laboratory. Therefore, paying attention to pre-analytical variables associated with blood collection is critical in ensuring accurate results. When the citation was read, I worked in the laboratory for about 20 years in a teaching hospital, very large. We receive a lot of patients. Patient comes, you come to the lab in the afternoon. We say no. Come in the morning, you say no. If you do that, you are not likely to get good results. What are those things that can lead to wrong results? Age, gender, diet, exercise, drugs, posture, diagnostic stroke therapeutic procedures the patient is undergoing, certain lifestyle habits, genetic variation, race, nutrition. Timing is very, very important. I spent a lot of years working on hormones, reproductive hormones. When patients come, you tell them, please, it is better taken in the morning. They will tell you, I came from Katsina State. And so what? You want good results or you want bad results? It's after education, they will not agree. Okay. The next day. Now, when we want to identify patients, we have to be very, very careful. You have to put full name. If somebody says Mohammed, Mohammed is a common name. So you must be Mohammed something. If you say Mohammed, there are so many Mohammeds, so it can be swapped. So age, sex, nationality, identification number, very, very important. Hospital numbers. And we should ensure the above information is confirmed before blood is taken. Otherwise, you are taking another person's blood. The facilities where I've worked, we take our sample in a central place, especially for the people coming from outside. So we drop your form, we call you one after the other, we take your sample. If you miss it there, you are working on another person's sample. Therefore, it can be avoided. The highest frequency of error occurs with the use of handwriting label and request forms. That is what we are still used to in this climate. This can be avoided by confirming the patient's identifiers, the name, the medical record number, the date of birth, room location, and address. And recently, they can use barcode technology. Now, sample collection. You have to locate the patient. You have to prepare him. You draw the sample, you label it properly and dispose of every other consumables you have used. Time of collection. Therapeutic drug monitoring. If, for instance, we are looking at a patient and the patient has been on drug, and that drug we want to look at whether the level at which the blood, the level of that drug in the blood, we should know the time it is peaked, the time it is low. We have to identify patient adequately and know when to collect the sample. Basal state collection, fasting requirement, no food, no liquid except water for 10 to 12 hours. 2-hour postprandial. You say, hey, I took a food 2 hours ago. When you start to eat, and we all agree that we don't eat at the same rate. If somebody starts, especially, I'm sorry, the women, they can eat for 30 minutes. So when you now eat for 30 minutes, then you begin to count 2 hours. That is not 2 hours. So we must start when we start to eat. Specimen affected by time of the day, cortisol, iron, TSH, they are better collected in the morning. If you collect it in the afternoon, you are not getting the level in the blood. The next slide, it just tells us, after a standard meal, the changes in the concentration of different analytes that took place, they were analyzed by several people. That is what the next slide is showing. You will see that if you do it like cortisol, maximum 5 to 8 hours, minimum 21 to 3, that we are talking about 24 hours now. So if you look at it, it's better for you to know when and when to collect the sample. Between 7 and 9, is the best time. Before interference from therapeutic procedures, in drug monitoring, consideration of the peak after administration and the steady phase before the next dose, documentation of the exact time of sampling is very, very key. Collection itself is what they call phlebotomy. The collection of the blood itself. It requires expert knowledge and critical judgment. Errors may cause harm to the patient or result in needle prick injury to the person collecting the blood. It could result in many pre-analytical errors in the laboratory. Therefore, anybody that is trained to collect blood must still undergo other courses, training, under supervision of a senior person that is used to collecting blood. And you know, in our profession, there is what we call continuous medical education. It is continuing. You must upgrade, update yourself every now and then. Competency assessment, either in written or observation or professional licensure, is also key. You might be working, a senior person will be looking at you, is evaluating you. Maybe after evaluation, you will say, please, this is what you should do, this is what you do, this is what you must not do. They are very, very key. Now, we want to collect blood. The patient or the subject must be comfortably seated in supine for about 20 minutes before sample is collected, not standing. A lot of people come, just collect it. It's not blood, just collect it. You must not collect it while the person things that will happen. If you want to do, let's say a full blood count, you are not going to get the result. So the arm itself should be extended in a straight line from the shoulder to the wrist. The collection site, preferably cubital fossa vein, and vein on the leg, on the hand, or the ankle can be used, especially in children. Maybe you want to do simple PCV. Also, you know, if before we collect, we swab. You must swab it, and must be cleaned with alcohol. And you allow the alcohol to dry. The subject will feel pain. And if you want to do blood culture, it's advised that you don't use alcohol. You use iodine. These are standard procedures. You use iodine because if you use alcohol, alcohol should inactivate the organism you are trying to get. So contamination can occur at this level, up to about 50% in some facilities. And this will increase costs to the patient and over-treatment. We should avoid the arm with hematoma, where you have broken skin. Don't collect blood there. Where you have infection, edema, or where you have burns, you must not collect blood there. Or a site, one of the sites where, especially women, they have mastectomy, or the patient is receiving infusion and you collect your blood from that same arm. It's not allowed because you are not going to get the desired results. Also, tourniquet, that thing we use to tie the arm, we must ensure that there's a position usually 3 to 4 inches above where you are supposed to go into the vein. And once you have gone in, you have to untie before you begin to draw. If you do not, result to hemoconcentration. In the laboratory, we require several samples, either that we want it clotted or we do not want it clotted. If we do not want it clotted, we use what we call anticoagulants, something that will make the blood to remain in liquid form. And such we use EDTA, citrate, lithium heparin, fluoride, oxalate. But in using them, there are risks. And also, when there is incorrect order of container, for instance, we'll get to the slide. If you want to do several analyses, there are steps you must take. New sample needs to be sent to the lab in case you have contamination. Do not compromise. I want to pity him or her. There's no pity. Try and do your best. We must avoid what we call hemolysis. Traumatic venipuncture can lead to hemolysis. Blood collection from the area, hematoma, yes. Vigorous shake it by inversion. You just do it like this. Some people, you agitate it so much. Once you do that, these are delicate things. And making of the site when collecting capillary blood, hemolysis will occur. Blood collection using small diameter needle can lead to hemolysis. And dispensing the blood through the needle and cooling to the temperature of 0 can also lead to hemolysis. If we want to do, let's say, blood culture, coagulation study, U&E, LFT, full blood count, and fasting blood glucose, you must follow the order. First of all, you must take your blood into blood culture bottle first, followed by coagulation tubes, followed by plain or serum you need, we call it plain bottles. Then heparin, EDTA, usually used for full blood count, or fluoride oxalate for fasting blood glucose. Anticoagulants, like I said, they are important for some results, for some analysis, but the blood anticoagulant ratio is also very important. Little blood in heparin container makes heparin relatively high in concentration and may potentially interfere with some biochemical parameters. This is true. So, if you look at the tube very well, they will usually draw a line. The blood must not exceed that point, but many people do not care. In coagulation studies, inaccurate blood to anticoagulant ratio may lead to prolonged PT or PTTK. There's a procedure. Specimen transportation. If blood for, let's say, arterial blood gases, it must go to this laboratory immediately, because these are gases and they can go off. We must do it immediately. Serum or plasma should be centrifuged and separated within 2 hours. Temperature on ice, if it's ammonia, to avoid temperature extremes. And if you are doing bilirubin from our basic medical science, you know that if you expose your sample to sunlight, you are not likely to get the correct bilirubin level. So when sample comes to the lab, we also do some procedures before the analysis. We must receive our samples very well. Some of you here in clinical chemistry, I was here when we were examining you some time ago. I will ask you, how will you receive specimen in the laboratory? Very, very important. How will you receive it? Very, very important. Because you must look at what those things we said before very well. And you must identify the patient before you receive. And you must check whether there is clot or not. And after you have done that, you put in your register and give it what we call laboratory number. Very, very important, because by the time you finish and store the samples, somebody will come tomorrow and said, "This, what you have done, I do not like it." You said, "Is that so?" You go back to where your sample. Without that laboratory number, you will not identify the sample. But with laboratory number, you quickly go there. What date was it? You say yes, you pick it and analyze again. So these are very, very, very important. And storage also, after you have done it, what do you do with it? You don't throw samples away because they are precious. Now, there are markers for rejection of samples. Is the sample clotted? Is it hemolyzed? Is it underfilled or overfilled? Insufficient quality, incorrect labeling, unlabeled specimens, incorrect patient, contamination, lost samples, too old to process, broken and leaking is hazardous to you. We must not receive them in the laboratory. When you observe this, you send it back. In conclusion, good practices and compliance with strategies for error prevention can lead to a substantial reduction in pre-analytical errors. You see this slide. This woman was complaining. They say, they said the specimen is hemolyzed. They are not accepting it. Yes, it's not hemolyzed, and I will not accept it. There are reasons. So don't accept. And by conclusion, I want to say, if you love a scientist, you raise your glass. If not, raise your standard. God bless you.
Incidentally, there are no glasses here. But maybe we should translate it to fist. If you love scientists, raise your fist. But you see, we love scientists. Another round of applause for our very distinguished guest lecturer. I am sure that lecture is a very handy tool for the inductees to take on as they step into the World Wide Web of industry and practice. At this juncture, the Vice Chancellor would like to do a special presentation to our guest lecturer. Shall we please put our hands together as the Vice Chancellor presents of recognition to the guest lecturer, Professor Mokpai, for honor a highly intellectually stimulating lecture. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the heart of today's event. The moment everybody is waiting for. And to do this, it is my singular honor to invite no other person than the head of department, Medical Laboratory Science, Dr. Banigoto, to present the inductees to the Council for Induction. IUO. 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 My Vice Chancellor, sir, the Registrar, Chief Executive, Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria, ably represented by a Senior Director, MLSCN. I wish to present to you, sir. On behalf of the Department of Medical Laboratory Science, College of Science, School of Basic Medical Science, and College of Health Science, Igbinedion University, Okada, I present to newly qualified who has satisfied all the conditions laid down by the university and the Medical Laboratory Council of Nigeria for admission into the medical laboratory profession. I still present, sir.
Thank you. The Vice Chancellor. All protocols duly observed. Inductees, you may sit. Before I read my address, there are some questions I would have liked to ask. And it goes to the guest lecturer. The guest lecturer, I don't know what to call him. He's my Oga's Oga. So it's a little bit difficult for me to call him. Which kind of error do you call this? When I was working somewhere in Lagos, I was supposed to take blood in the morning, and an elderly man walked at that. And I took the syringe, I swabbed his hand, and I tried to enter his arm with the syringe, but it just kept on bouncing back. So the head of the lab now came and tried. It also bounced back. So I now asked the man, I said, okay, what thing happened? He said, okay, don't worry. Yeah. And he went back in the lab and came out. He said, okay, you can take now. Yes. So I was just wondering what error that was. Thank you. So I need to read my Oga's speech. A speech by the Registrar CEO, Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria, Dr. Tosa Irabo, at the induction of fresh graduates of the Department of Medical Lab Science, Tuesday, on this occasion of the induction of the new set of medical laboratory science graduates of Igbinedion University. I am glad you could all join us to recognize the 70 inductees who, having completed their sojourn in this university, in this institution, are made it to the finish line and will soon be admitted into the medical laboratory science profession. Act 11, 2003, Section 4, mandates the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria to determine from time to time the standard of knowledge and skill to be attained by persons seeking to become medical laboratory scientists, technicians, and assistants. In other words, to determine whether these 70 inductees presented by this university will be admitted and allowed to practice as medical laboratory scientists. So the onus is on me. So I want you to clap very well. If you don't clap very well, we will end here. Those at the back. Hold on, hold on. No. You can't cheat me. You can't cheat me. Those at the back were not clapping. On to the last and the third to the last row. You didn't clap. So we can exclude you from this induction. So you will all clap. So since you have assuaged my ego, we'll continue. But I am glad that each one of them, having been found worthy in character and learning by this prestigious institution, came highly recommended. It is no secret that this university is close to my heart. It is a part of my trajectory. And just like the inductees, I had at some point come here to fulfill my career goals. Thus, it is always a thing of personal fulfillment when positive reports about this institution reach my table. This ceremony is one of the ways that the university showcases its accomplishments in the task of professionals who meet the growing needs of the health sector. It may not always be easy, but this institution must never lose sight of what it represents. Ladies and gentlemen, for an institution of this size to be doing well is not an accident. There are people who have probably given their all to make that possible. Tribute to the visionary founder, chancellor, and one of the greatest philanthropists of our time, Chief Sir Dr. Gabriel O. Igbenegio, a Sama of Benin Kingdom, who recently turned 88. His sacrifices and commitments to the vision of changing the narrative of private tertiary education. Many of these young ones we now celebrate would not have had their chance unless they looked elsewhere. We appreciate him in the service of our dear country and humanity. I also commend the leadership of the institution under the Vice Chancellor, Professor Lawrence Ezemonye, who happens to be close to where I come from. It is one of the things for a visionary to initiate mind-blowing ideas, but it will take the efforts of equally committed missionaries to bring ideals to fruition. Although the authorities have done well, but for the university to achieve its full potential and take its rightful place in the scheme of things, we must remain steadfast and unsurprisingly, the Department of Medical Laboratory Science to us at the MLSCN. In that respect, the council will continue to advocate for greater support to enable the department to live up to expectation. There are departments that neglect or to counsel,
Okay.
especially regarding
Don't worry, don't worry. Unless Mama again on some again, don't worry.
professional examinations, etc. That the department here is not among them. First, I encourage the authorities to do whatever is necessary to support the medical laboratory science department, as it is the foundation on which the cordial relationship between our institutions are built. Now to the inductees. You are the reason that we are gathered here. Your successful sojourn in
Chinwe,
this institution has
I get met on
understandable
printing on
made you
Wednesday
accept
next
our
week.
for making your family and friends and indeed
It's always good.
this phase of studentship has ended. Another phase is unfolding. This new phase will hold you to account for your professional decisions and actions. You must be ready to face it with courage and optimism, bearing in mind that you will no longer have your lecturers or parents to run to. It is time. Though you must always strive to be good ambassadors of your alma mater and the council, that places some responsibility on you, as all eyes will be on you. It will be in your best interest to eschew all forms of misconduct capable of bringing MLSE and your alma mater to disrepute. Remain focused and let your pursuit of prosperity and growth be anchored on what is right and just. Let me conclude by employing the authorities to persuade the relevant teaching hospital to absorb some of these inductees as interns. If there's anything MLSN can do to facilitate that, please let us know. It has become imperative to relieve these young ones of the burden of combing nooks and crannies of major cities in the country in search of internship opportunity. If the hospital was part of their training, then it has a duty to absorb at least some of them. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all for contributing to the success of this event and wish you journey mercies back to your various destinations. Thank you very much. Inductees, you will rise. Place your right hand on your chest. Where I say I haven't started. Are you in a hurry? You're in such a hurry. After 5 years, you are chill. Where I say I, you will call your names. Where I say I, you will call your names. So let's test from I. I pledge as a professional member of the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria to always exercise my professional knowledge and skill with judgment and care for the benefits of the wider general public
Yes, yes. Who? Obinna.
Demonstrate
What
the
is that?
highest standards of conduct, honesty, and integrity in my personal and professional behavior. Understand, recognize, and work skills and experience. Recognize the beliefs and values of the wider general public, the users of the service, and professional colleagues, treating them on a fair and equitable basis. Ensure the confidentiality of patients' information. Ensure that my own beliefs and values do not prejudice or compromise my ability to carry out my professional duties ensure, maintain and improve, and keep up to date my professional knowledge and skills. Aid and support the development of medical laboratory sciences by education or training of professional colleagues, users of the service, and the wider general public. Promote the study and activity of the medical laboratory science by promotion of the values, aims, and objectives of the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria. Show due respect and gratitude to my teachers, maintain friendly relations with my colleagues, and wherever possible, endeavor to teach students placed under my care. I, member of the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria, I will abide faithfully in all due loyalty by the rules of the council. So help me God. Look for yourself. The Vice Chancellor, members of the academia, by the powers conferred in the Registrar CEO who I represent, the brand newest, the charter of our society, the new professional, my new professional colleagues, to you, sound. So I've finished what the registrar sent me to do. Now, if you look at your code of conduct, the last part, number 10, what does it say? It's okay, it's okay. Show due respect. So now, the guests in front of you, not guests, your lecturers in front of you, the university officials in front of you, they gave you accommodation, forget whether you paid. They provided it for you. Didn't they? You. So if they didn't know, you don't know. Are we together? Uh-huh. So whatever you know is what they gave you. So after you finish exhausting them, draining them of knowledge, I think the best we can do is to thank them. Don't you think so? Okay, so what we will do? We will take that they are all the way here. Huh? So you will take a bow. You will bow to them because they are senior to you, aren't they? You will bow. You know what it is to bow? I didn't tell you to put on your cap. You see? Okay, oh, because we are colleagues now. So you will take a bow and you will thank them for the money you paid, though. And you will make me, I'm the arbiter, you will make me believe, even if you're lying, you will make me believe that you are indeed grateful. So after 3, you will take a bow and you will say, thank you, my. It should sweet me. You understand? Or we'll keep on doing it until you get it right. So after 3, 1, 2, 3. So I don't know why you're clapping. You can fool them, or you can't fool me. We've been doing this for years. So we'll repeat it. I said, make me believe. This is dear to my heart. So after 3, you will repeat what you said. More. Okay, acceptable. You will now turn to your right. I know some of your parents are here. Don't be annoyed. Just imagine you're also full turning. I didn't say bend. Turn and face them. So the millions that were paid out, we're going to thank them for paying these millions out. Abi? They could have bought cars. Daddies could have married new wives. Sorry, mommies, but or even built new houses. But they decided to invest them in you. So we're not really here because of you. We're here because of the investment of your parents. So you will turn and you will thank your parents. Again, you will make me believe because this money pays me. So you will make me believe. You will repeat, thank you, my loving and dear parents. And you will take a bow. I said, you will make me believe. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. I didn't hear. 70 of you. Abba. Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3, go. Parents, you believe?
Yes.
No. You can. You clap, oh. I say I'm the arbiter. You don't hear? Even some of them didn't answer. So you will do it. I said turn there now. Colleagues. I can strip you of these colleagues. Are you aware? So make me believe. 1, 2, 3, go. Thank you. Yeah. Dear loving parents, I want from the bottom of my heart to thank you. Indeed, you are our heroes. Clap for them again. You can sit down. A few words. Normally, I would have asked you to also encourage the students you are leaving behind, but we will skip that. What is going to happen is that I have a little some advice for them that are coming after you. When you're coming for induction, please dress properly. How do they say? Say you'll be addressed the way you dress. For you on your induction day to be wearing canvas. Are you an athlete? Or to be wearing slippers? Do you sell granules? It's not acceptable. On your day of induction, you wear a t-shirt. I just overlooked some things. But I'm telling you, if the registrar were here, you will not be inducted. So remember that when you're coming next time for induction. To the inductees, when your internship is over, please, before you go for your youth service, endeavor to carry your full and current practicing license. If you don't carry it, you will not be allowed into your advice. So once you're about finishing, please try and process your license. It is very, very important. I want to thank my Oga, Professor Emokbai, for his wonderfully delivered lecture. As you go on in life, you will hear about QMS, Quality Management System. He just took a portion of it and he dissected it. Endeavor to improve on what you have learned. I remember when I finished, but before I say that, I want to greet one of my mentors, my lecturer, people that taught me everything I knew in practice. Dr. Victoria Mokwe. Is she here? Anyway, I saw her this morning. There were 3 ladies in chemical pathology. Beautiful ladies. She was one of them. Everything I knew in chemical pathology on the bench, they taught me. So I want to appeal to you as a university to try and carry out university. Because Dr. Mokoye has refused to get old. I look at your dean, if not for the small gray hair I see, looks like a small boy. And I look at the DVC, he even dresses younger than me. So you people should look into this age, something is happening in Igbenijo University. The Vice Chancellor, ably represented, I want to thank you, along with my crew, Miss Maureen Kaduna, where is she? She came with me from Abuja. I want to thank you for your hospitality. I can't remember when I ate like this. You know what's free? You don't really, you eat as you like. I want to thank you for your hospitality and your generosity. I will make sure that the registrar hears about it. Maybe you can increase your quota. Who knows? I want to thank the inductees for making it possible. I pray and hope you keep the flag flying. I think we will end this occasion but the inductees will remain seated. After they have gone, we will now distribute some things to you. Thank you and God bless.
Please put your hands together for the representative of the registrar. Sir, if the way we gave you hospitality in quota, we can keep you here for 1 week, sir. So far, the quota will go to 500. Well, you have said thank you to us. We also have a way of saying thank you to distinguished guests and partners like you and the organization you represent. So at this point, the Vice Chancellor would like to do a special presentation to you for this wonderful outing today. Thank you very much, sir. Mrs. Maureen Pius, please also step forward to receive a token. Thank you very much. Quickly, it's my pleasure at this point to invite the Edo State chapter, the chairman, Edo State chapter of Nigeria, to Dr. Nosakari Demudia to come forward and admit this newly inducted medical laboratory scientist into the full membership of the association. He will determine what status of membership. Please put your hands together for him.
The Vice Chancellor, ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Council of Nigeria, here represented by one of our own, Mr. Gregory Ochuno, the guest lecturer at this event, my lecturer, Professor M.A. Mokbai, other principal officers of the university. I stand here on behalf of the 14th National President of our Noble Professional Association, Professor James Garba Dame, to receive these our newly inducted colleagues, laboratory science profession, and indeed, on behalf of our National President and the National Executive Council, I want to congratulate these newly inducted medical laboratory scientists today. You are welcome to the medical laboratory science profession. And I want to assure you that you are into a noble profession. Medical laboratory science profession is a life-saving profession. And like you have seen, even from the guest presentation today, you will understand that a lot is in your head. It's a profession that you must practice with knowledge. It's a knowledge-based profession. And now that you have been so inducted, you have to work hard and continually build on your knowledge. You must understand that the fact that you are specialized in a particular area, you are not limited to that area when it comes to real-time practice. And therefore, you must, on a daily basis, update your knowledge. And that's why as part of the requisite for you to renew your annual practicing license, you must tender evidence of continuous professional development to show that you have indeed been improving on your knowledge. I want to enjoin you that now that you have come in, you must take that very seriously. And you must know that as a noble profession that you have come into, a lot of ethics is required from you. The ethics of the medical laboratory science profession, wherever you are, then the membership of the association is important. Like we are here in every to receive you, because upon this induction, you are now a bona fide member of the association. Wherever you practice, you are expected to identify with the Association of Medical Laboratory Science, Scientists of Nigeria, wherever you practice, so long as you are within the shores of this country. And when you do, you will not regret, because the association exists primarily to protect your interests. So once again, I want to also appreciate the management and staff of the University, Igbinedion University, Okada. It's on record that Igbinedion University is the first, it's not just a premier private university in Nigeria, but it's also the first private university to have done the training of medical laboratory scientists from the first degree level. Why, as an association, we hold them in high esteem, and in any program where we are so invited, we must do all in our powers to honor them. We are very, very grateful for this MAPA development that you are doing for our profession, and we are not taking it for granted. Once again, congratulations to all our newly inducted colleagues.
Another round of applause for Dr. Demide. Now we have a very special presentation to do. We have some of the newly inducted graduates who have in the course of their studies in the college, in their department. So it's my pleasure to begin to announce them. We have 4 distinguished graduates who excelled in 4 different areas of their study. We have medical microbiology, we have chemical pathology, we have histopathology, and we have hematology. And it's my pleasure to announce that the best student who stepped forward to receive a special plaque presented by the Vice Chancellor will be the best student in medical microbiology. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Osaze Ekundayo Izebuwa. The Vice Chancellor will present the plaque of recognition for his outstanding performance in medical microbiology. The best graduate in chemical pathology. Treasure Chukunom Nazu. Please put them together for our Treasure Chukunom Nazu. Best in chemical pathology. The next, best in histopatology, Fatima Yakubu. Fatima Yakubu, best in histopathology. Please make way for her. Please make way for her. Next is best in hematology, Abdul Rauf Kankara Ibrahim. Abdul Rauf Kankara Ibrahim. Abdul Rauf Kankara Ibrahim. Thank you. I would like at this point to request his representative to please do us the honor to present this very particular one, which goes to the overall best graduating student, who is Osaze Ekunda. Best graduating student. He is a first-class graduate of the medical laboratory science. I think that's what it is. Mr. Osaze, you just step up right to the microphone to give it for him. He will be getting his address as the valedictorian of today. Thank you.
The Honorable Chancellor, Igbinedion University, Okada, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osawa Igbinedion, the Esama of Benin Kingdom, and the Esama of the universe. The Deputy Chancellor, His Excellency Chief Dr. Lucky Nosaka Igbinedion, and our very own trailblazing, enigmatic, astute, dexterous, sarcastic, witty, and dynamic Vice Chancellor, Professor Lawrence Ikechukwu Ezemoye, PhD, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Raf Adele, the Registrar and CEO, Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria, Dr. Tosan Irabo, ably represented by a very senior director in council, and then our keynote speaker, Professor M.I. Emokpai. Permits me to stand on the well-established protocol. I am most elated and humbled to stand before you today to deliver this valedictory speech on behalf of my fellow inductees, whom I would love to address as the golden generation medical laboratory scientists. This is occasioned by the transition of medical laboratory services in Nigeria from the very primitive and analog days where some of our senior colleagues, I'm very sure that the representative of the registrar will bear me witness, that they performed very dangerous mouth pipetting of different solutions, as well as nerve-wracking and back-breaking titrations of analytic enzymes to the current digitalization that produce precise, reproducible, clear-cut diagnosis of several diseases and illnesses with a very short turnaround time. And this is fundamental to the prognosis of patient healthcare. I am not in any doubt that we are ready to take the bull by the horn because the training we obtained here at Induction University within these past 5 years exposed us to modern best practices of medical laboratory science, ensuring that we have the necessary skill sets to compete favorably internationally. It is my earnest plea that a good number of us today embrace academics so that we can continue to pass down the wealth of knowledge we have acquired to the next generation scientists, as well as put forth quality and impactful research across the various fields of medical laboratory sciences, which is pivotal to the attainment of sustainable growth and development in the nation. To our dear parents and guardians, in a very special way, we are grateful for your tenacity and dedication to ensuring that you gave us the best education we can acquire. In the world, is small work. Seeing that you have achieved great success here today, our parents, we equally charge you to be ambassadors of this noble institution, Nigeria's premier and leading private university. You have trusted Induction University Okada to build your children and worlds alike into medical experts. In the same vein, trust these scientists enough to perform medical laboratory investigations on you before the commencement of treatments. And this is particularly important as it will mitigate the menace of drug abuse and proliferation of antimicrobial resistance in our communities. I would love to express my profound gratitude to the management of Induction University for ensuring provision of high quality and uninterrupted training of her students into authentic graduates. IUO. Even the COVID-19 pandemic, when it was at its prime, could not stop us, as the university launched an online learning management system which provided effective, visual, and highly proctored interface between students and staff to ensure continuous academic activities. To the very ebullient, hard of department, in the Department of Medical Laboratory Sciences, Dr. Dan Ugbomeku, thank you very much for your fatherly role. For your fatherly role you have continued to play in the lives of the students under your guidance. The truth is, words alone cannot describe the awesome activities. It cannot describe the efforts. It cannot describe the passion. It cannot even describe the extent to which he is willing to put himself on the line of service to ensure that all of us made it here today. So, Daddy, we are very grateful. Thank you very much. To all members of staff of the department, we are grateful for being thorough and dedicated to service. In the same vein, I would love to appreciate all members of staff of Induction University Teaching Hospital, as well as University of Benin Teaching Hospital, for all your contributions towards our training. Thank you all, and may the good Lord grant you journey mercies to your various homes. God bless the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria. God bless Induction University. Thank you very much.
Please put your hands together for Osaze. Let me inform that immediately after this program, the Vice Chancellor, the Registrar of the Council, and other distinguished principal officers of the university will file out through the foyer there by the banner stand where we have the backdrop to take group photographs. And they will expect that all the 70 graduates of this induction ceremony will file immediately after them to have a group photograph. After that, the graduates will return into the auditorium where the council will attend to you for your certificate and all the other necessary things. And I will appeal to you to please follow that order. Don't go running after rice and party. We will all come over. When it's party, let's do party, but for work. And I think also that your set should be commended for coming on time, very timely. And I think I'm putting this right. Another round of applause for the HOs for that. Yes, you went beautifully, and that is very, very remarkable. So please, I want you to follow, and you return back to the hall to be attended to by the council. Are we clear on this? Very well. On this note, it is my pleasure to invite the Deputy Registrar representing the Registrar.
IUO. IUO. Can I hear you? IUO. Today is a wonderful day, the 6th day of December, the year 2022. We are all glad in it, I guess. Mine is a simple duty to perform. Our gratitude goes to the Almighty God for the provision of this. Granted us to arrive here, and that safety will also protect us, all of us home. So we give our gratitude to the Almighty. We thank God for the very, very beautiful day. Next, to the Honorable Chancellor, whose one thought created Igbenedion University or brought Igbenedion University into form, making this university the first premier private university south of the Sahara in the African continent. Our gratitude goes to him for the manifestation of his thoughts. I'd like to thank the members of management, ably led by our Vice Chancellor, Professor Lawrence Ikechukwu. He's been described here severally. Digital Vice Chancellor, ably represented by Professor Rafa Dege. I would like to thank the beautiful induction ceremony led by the gentleman representing the rest of the Council of Nigeria. Our gratitude goes to the council. Our guest lecturer, Professor Mokwae, who did everything very, very practical. Very, very practical. So you have been, as it were, capped on, your knowledge has been capped on by that very lecture that he delivered. Able to honor that. Thank you, sir. To our parents, to the parents that made sacrifices for a period of 5 years, paid our school fees, provided for our food, for our books, for our clothing, and for our welfare. We thank you, parents. We only appeal that bring the next set of medical lab scientists. Welcome. Today is a day that you will not forget. It is our wish that you continue from step 1 after this first degree. Your university doors are open for you for a master's program. Thank you and congratulations. To the members of the university community, on behalf of the university management, we appreciate you for always working in harmony, one with the other, each with the other, thus making our university a shining example among private and, in fact, tertiary institutions in this country. Let's clap for ourselves. To members of the press, we will study you as you do your recording of speeches and photographs. We ask you, while thanking you, do a very good publication of this event, either in the print, electronic. To all of us, the gentlemen in ICT who have done a wonderful work, the public relations unit, our drivers that conveyed our graduates from wherever they gathered, that made this very prompt. We thank all of us. Finally, as we started, our gratitude goes to the Almighty God for his greatest goodness. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll be closing now. We'll stand up for the closing prayer. Immediately after the prayer, we'll take the anthem. And it's my pleasure to invite Abdurrauf Kankara Ibrahim to please give us a closing prayer. Please come forward, please. Thank you.
Salam and Nabi Karim. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون من شيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما.
Okay, so we'll take the anthem.
God bless you,
'cause past shall never be replaced. To serve without one nation bounding freedom, peace and Thank you very much. We'll all remain in our position until the Vice Chancellor and his delegation leaves. All the graduates file after them for the group photograph, after which we return to the auditorium to be attended to by the council for your certificates. Please, it's very important. Please, can we just follow them right now? Members of Senate should join. Please move on now. Just proceed now. Fulfill this protocol before we begin to take photograph. We have the entire day to take pictures and to hug and to celebrate.